Welcome everyone. Today we'll be starting up the daily quiz for the date 6th March 2024. So before we get into the daily quiz, there's a small announcement. So that is regarding your prelims test series. So all the details regarding the prelims test series is given in the description. Kindly go through it. So now we'll get into the questions, and today the questions are from various subjects starting from polity. So the most important subject. So in today's newspaper, so it was told that the Calcutta High Court Judge Gangopadhyay resigns, says he will join BJP. And again, Honorable Judge so recently resigned and he wants to get into a political party. So this was in the news. So in this context, we will be taking up a constitutional question, quite interesting one. So regarding this, so consider the following statement regarding the resignation of the High Court Judge. So the first statement is the High Court judge should submit his resignation letter to the governor of the respective state. What do you think? Is it correct? The High Court judge should submit a resignation letter to the governor of the respective state. Is it right? So what do you think? Who appoints the High Court judge? So it is Honorable President appoints the High Court judge. The logic, you could apply a small logic. If Honorable President is going to appoint the High Court judge, why would this High Court judge give resignation letter to the governor? So whoever is the appointing authority, the resignation letter is always tendered to the appointing authority, or say superior to the appointing authority, not the person below or say subordinate to the appointing authority. So the governor is subordinate. So why would the High Court judge give the resignation letter to the governor? The High Court judge always gives the resignation letter to the president, because president is the appointing authority. So this statement is wrong. Next one, the Indian Constitution explicitly provides a detailed procedure for the resignation of the High Court judge. So what do you think? Does Indian Constitution has a provision regarding the resignation of the High Court judge? No, Indian Constitution doesn't have. So we'll get into details, but this statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. So the answer has to be D. So D is the answer. Now we'll go through the explanation. Again here, it is the Honorable President who is the appointing authority to the High Court judge. So if one High Court judge has to resign, it is always the resignation letter is submitted to the appointing authority, that is the Honorable President. And again, the Article 17 of the Indian Constitution gives only the clauses or the provisions that are necessary for the appointment of the High Court judge. The Article 217 has no provisions regarding the resignation of the High Court judge. So Article 217 doesn't tell anything about the resignation of the High Court judge. That is, Indian Constitution has no provisions regarding the resignation of the High Court judge. Now the question might now there would be an organic question that then how will the judges would resign? So there is a convention that whoever is the appointing authority, the resignation is tendered to them or their superior. In the case of High Court judge, who is the appointing authority? It is the Honorable President. Honorable President is the appointing authority. So who is above Honorable President? No one is above Honorable President. So Honorable President becomes the authority who will receive the resignations of any High Court judge. Did you guys get it? So this is how you need to apply logics in UPSC to get the answer. Fine. So next we'll go to another polity question. Very interesting question. This is based on the recent judgment by the Supreme Court, and it's one of the welcoming judgment. Even Honorable PM also welcomed that judgment. So that is nothing but your judgment by the seven judges constitutional bench regarding JMM bribery case. So we'll go to that later on, but we'll see to it regarding this. So this case was regarding the parliamentary privileges. So what is this parliamentary privileges? It's a simple concept. Parliamentary privileges means it is some added extra privilege, extra rights that is given to the member of parliament by the constitution compared to the other Indian citizens. Simple concept. Parliamentary privileges means extra rights, extra privileges given only to the MPs, member of parliament, or say for that matter in state MLAs and MLCs. So we'll here the question is regarding MPs. We'll take up only MPs. Extra rights given to the MPs countries compared to the rest part of the other Indian citizens. So that concept is called as parliamentary privileges. So regarding that, now we'll consider the first statement. So parliamentary privileges are fundamental to the functioning democracy, allowing MPs to express themselves freely on the legislative matters without fear of civil or criminal prosecution. So what do you think? Is it right? So is the parliamentary privileges meant only to express themselves freely, or is it the main reason? It is the core reason, or it is the essence of the parliamentary privileges. So again here, the reason why we have parliamentary privileges in the Indian Constitution is that the MPs in the parliament should speak out their mind freely, not fearing of any legal prosecution. So as a reason, the parliamentary privileges are given. So again here, this statement is absolutely right. So we'll go to the next one. The parliamentary privileges are codified in the Article 105 Clause 2 of the Indian Constitution. Is it? So what do you think? Is it codified? Does Indian Constitution has codified the parliamentary privileges? No. Indian Constitution, that is Article 105 Clause 2, only tells that there is a parliamentary privileges to the MPs. So that is your Article 105 Clause 2. It hasn't told what are the parliamentary privileges, what are the extra rights that they get. The Constitution has told that they get some extra right. What is that extra right? It hasn't been told in the Constitution. Neither it has been codified in any legal document. So this statement is wrong. But now the question you might ask, then what are the parliamentary privileges? This is the clause. The parliamentary privileges will be decided by the Parliament as and when the time arises. The Parliament, they themselves will decide their privileges. The member of parliaments, they themselves will decide what are their privileges. It is not codified. That is one of the drawbacks that is highlighted by the experts regarding the parliamentary privileges. So second statement is wrong. So what about the third statement? Again, the parliamentary privileges are absolute and extends to all the actions of the member of parliament irrespective of their nature. Is it absolute? See, in Indian Constitution, no right is absolute. The basic funda is that in Indian Constitution, no right is absolute. It is subjected to some scrutiny. But however, again here, the parliamentary privileges in the recent judgment, that is JMM bribery case, Honorable Supreme Court held that in the previous version, it was held that the bribe case that was taken during PV Narasimha Rao's time, so that was upheld. But however, the Parliament, the seven judge bench recently told that it is not absolute. That is the cash that's the vote for cash. So that concept is not a parliamentary privileges. In Parliament, vote for cash was common earlier. That was not a parliamentary privileges. So the parliamentary privileges is not absolute. So this statement is wrong. So what is the answer then? The answer is A. Again, regarding this JMM bribery case issue and the judgment of the 7-judge constitution bench will be discussed in detail on the 8th of March at 7 p.m. in detail. So kindly watch this class. It will be helpful for you to understand in and out regarding the JMM bribery case and what is the constitutional bench judgment and what are the issues that will come up regarding the parliamentary privileges. Everything will be discussed in this class. So kindly watch this one. Fine. So now we'll go to the next question. So the next question is regarding the environment ecology topic. So it is regarding one of the famous, or say rather the infamous greenhouse gas, that is your methane gas. So consider the following statement regarding methane gas. So methane gas is a greenhouse gas that contributes to the global warming by trapping heat in the Earth's atmosphere. What do you think? Is it right? Is methane a greenhouse gas? Yes, methane is a greenhouse gas. In fact, it is the second largest greenhouse gas after carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is the first and the second largest greenhouse gas that is leading to the current global warming. That is your methane gas. Your methane gas is the second largest greenhouse gas that is contributing to the present global warming. So methane gas is a greenhouse gas. In nutshell, greenhouse gas means, consider something like this. It is a molecule which traps the solar heat, which traps the sun's heat. So that is called as greenhouse gas. So methane is the one of the gas that traps the solar heat. So as a reason, there is a global warming. So this is your first statement. First statement is absolutely right. And the second statement is, methane is a high global warming potential gas, more effective in trapping than carbon dioxide. Is methane a higher GWP gas, that is a higher global warming potential gas? Okay, for the people who don't know what is this global warming potential, it is a measurement, it is a metric through which we measure the potential of each greenhouse gas towards the global warming. So if any gas has higher global warming potential, or we call it as GWP, if any gas has higher GWP, it means that that gas has a lot of potential to contribute towards the global warming. So does methane is a high GWP gas? GWP is global warming potential. It is a metric, say in terms of, say we measure in terms of kg, liter, it is a kind of measurement. So similarly, GWP is kind of a measurement. So this is a measurement which measures the potential of each greenhouse gas to contribute to the global warming. That measurement is called as GWP. So methane, is it a high GWP gas? So yes, methane is a high GWP gas. In fact, the methane's GWP value, that is global warming potential value, is 21. So what do you mean by 21? It means that one molecule of methane will trap the same amount of heat that is trapped in 21 molecules of carbon dioxide. Assume that this is 21 molecules of carbon dioxide. So this 21 molecules of carbon dioxide will have some amount of heat. Let us assume that this 21 molecules of carbon dioxide has 10 units of heat, some heat. This 21 molecules of carbon dioxide will have some heat. The same heat will be trapped by just one molecule of methane. That is, methane's GWP value is 21. It means that 21 molecules of methane, one molecule of methane will trap the same amount of heat that is present in the 21 molecules of carbon dioxide. So it means that one molecule of methane is equivalent to 21 molecules of carbon dioxide, and we know that carbon dioxide is one of the largest greenhouse gas. So methane is one of the deadly gas towards which is contributing to the current global warming. So again, both the statements are right. So the answer is C. So we'll go to the next question, that is a fancy. So in the recent times, many fancy restaurants are giving some fancy foods. So recently in today's newspaper, so a restaurant in Gurugram, they gave dry ice that led to vomit of blood. So again, be very cautious when you're trying out new fancy foods. Okay? So be careful. So in this context, there's a question. So consider the following statement regarding dry ice. So what is dry ice? So the simple concept, what is dry ice? It's too much. It's famous also. So dry ice, the first statement is, dry ice is composed of frozen nitrogen. What do you think? Is it right? Is dry ice frozen nitrogen, or is it frozen carbon dioxide? Dry ice means it is a frozen carbon dioxide, or say we simply call it as, dry ice is simply called as solid carbon dioxide. Is it clear? So dry ice is nothing but solid carbon dioxide. When I cool the carbon dioxide air and make it like ice cubes, so that we will call it as dry ice. Is it clear? It is not frozen nitrogen, it is carbon dioxide. Okay? So this statement is wrong. Now, dry ice sublimates, meaning it skips the liquid phase and transforms directly into the gas. So in simple language, sublimation means, so we all know that this is gas, liquid, this is your solid. So always the physical if there is any physical component that moves from solid, liquid and gas, so this is how it will move. So when I say, for example, if I take water, so when I heat the water, what will happen? It will get converted into gas. So water is liquid. When I heat the water, it will get converted into gas. So when I cool the water, it will get converted into solid, that is ice. So sublimation means, so when skipping one part and skipping one step and going to the another step, that is called as sublimation. Say for example, steam is there, water. So from water, say let us assume that ice cubes are there. I cannot convert the ice cubes from ice cubes directly to water vapor. That is not at all possible. Can you convert one ice cubes into water vapor without having water in between? That is not possible. So what is sublimation? Sublimation is a concept where I can move from solid to gas. I can skip this liquid. So that concept is called as sublimation. You would have easily seen the camphor. Say in Hindi we call it as kapoor, or in South India we call it as karpura. So this is your camphor. When you burn the camphor is a solid. So what happens when you burn the camphor? It gets converted into gas. So the liquid part is skipped. So that concept is called as sublimation. So dry ice sublimates. So what do you think? Is it right? Dry ice sublimates. This is right. So dry ice, if you see here, this is your solid ice, it gets converted into gases. So there is no liquid form of it. Dry ice directly gets converted into gases. There is no liquid form of it. So this is right. What about this? Dry ice is used as a refrigerant due to its ability to maintain very cold temperature. Yes, dry ice is at sub-0 degrees Celsius. It is used to maintain cold temperature. So this statement is also right. So the answer is C. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So now we'll take up the next question, that is your PYQ. So 2023 PYQ again here. Consider the following heavy industries: fertilizer plant, oil refineries and steel plants. Green hydrogen is expected to play a significant role in decarbonizing how many of the above industry? So before answering, let us understand what is this green hydrogen. So green hydrogen means any hydrogen that is created using green energy, using energy generated from say windmills or say solar plant, any renewable energy. When it is used to produce hydrogen, that hydrogen is called as green hydrogen. It's not some fancy hydrogen. It's a regular hydrogen, but this hydrogen is produced using clean energy, say from wind or say from solar or any other clean energy. So such kind of hydrogen is called as green hydrogen. So green hydrogen is expected to play a significant role in decarbonizing how many of the above industries? See, hydrogen is used in all these industries. So green hydrogen, the simple concept of green hydrogen means this hydrogen is produced using a renewable energy. So that concept is called as green hydrogen. Again, green hydrogen is used in all of the industry, all of the three industries. Again in UPSC, if there is a question like green steel, green hydrogen, if there is any prefix of the word green, it simply means that, just assume that this is generated using some clean energy, using some renewable energy. Say we have green steel. What is green steel? The steel is not green in color. The steel is made using renewable energy. Green hydrogen means the hydrogen that is made using green energy. So whenever there is a prefix of the word green, it means that we use renewable energy to make the product. So that is the meaning of green energy, and the answer is C over here. Now we'll get into the fact of the day. Quite interesting. So again here, so we have something called as a MethaneSAT. So what is this MethaneSAT? It was a satellite that was launched by SpaceX. So this is your SpaceX, Elon Musk SpaceX, yeah, that space agency launched this MethaneSAT. It is a satellite, and who owns this satellite? This is owned by Environmental Defense Fund Group. So Environmental Defense Fund Group, it is one non-profit organization in US. Basically it is kind of one environmental organization that aims to conserve the environment across the world. So this group, this Environmental Defense Fund Group, they launched one satellite called as MethaneSAT. So now what does this MethaneSAT do? as the name suggests, methane satellite. In the previous question we have dealt in detail regarding methane. It focuses on that aspects itself. Again here, what does it do? Basically, this methane satellite, this methane sat, what it does is it measures the methane emission across the world, not just in US, across the world. It measures the methane emission. So how does it measure the methane emission? The simple concept of methane sat is it measures the methane emissions across the world. So how does it do? So again, so it monitors area by area. That is, it covers the entire Earth. How does it covers? This methane sat orbits the Earth 15 times. 15 times per day it orbits. Once it orbits 15 times, it will cover all the area throughout the Earth. So through that way, it will analyze the methane emissions across the world. And again here, what is the use of it? Again, through this methane sat, it will indulge in local mapping, which region is producing a lot of methane. And we saw earlier, methane is one of the high green global warming potential gas. So it is a high global warming potential gas, and it is very deadly for the global warming. So local mapping is done. So what it does, it creates large amount of data regarding the methane emission. That is, regarding how much methane is emitted, where it is emitted, who is emitting it, or say who is responsible for it, and what is the trend, whether the methane emission is going down or going up. What is the trend? Everything will be determined by this methane satellite, or say methane sat. And again, this methane, whatever the data this methane sat collects, it is available for free. That is to every public. Even you can go and analyze the methane data in this website, that is www.methanesat.org. You can analyze. And again, this data will be helpful for the stakeholders and the policymakers or the regulators in order to take actions regarding the controlling of methane. And methane is one of the deadly greenhouse gas. It is contributing to the current global warming. Is it clear? So this was the fact of the day. Shallow then. And the last announcement, on March 8th, we have a special session regarding the Supreme Court judgment in the recent JMM bribery case. So kindly watch this one. Thank you guys. Thank you.